We're going to get into a discussion around subroutines at this point. You can think of them as subroutines. Some people call them functions. You may also hear references to methods, particularly when people are talking about object-oriented programming. Really what it comes down to is having a chunk of code or set of program statements that you want to group together and you want to make use of them on a regular basis. In order to save yourself from having to type them in all the time, you probably want to create a subroutine or a function out of them. We've got a set of code here with a couple of subroutines. In Python, when you define a subroutine, as we do here on line 7, you use the def keyword, and I'm just going to create something called sub. So I put the open parentheses, close parentheses after it, and then I've got my statement z equals x minus y. We're talking about scoping previously, and one of the things that we've got here is we've got a case where these two variables are out of scope. And the reason for that is because I've actually got them down in a different subroutine. So I can't do anything with x and y here because they're actually out of scope. So I've got another subroutine here called add, where I'm just returning a value. And that's something that you can do from a subroutine or a function, and that's return a value. It's really helpful. So I've got a case where I'm going to print the result from adding 15 and 4. So I've got my subroutine here starting on line 14 where I'm taking two parameters in. You can see I've got x and y, which are my parameters there. And once I've given names to them in my parameters, I can then use the names that I've got here, and I'm going to return x plus y. So in the case of sub, I'm not returning anything as on line 11, which is the last line of the subroutine. I'm really just printing out. I'm doing a similar thing where I've got the parameters and I'm actually doing something with them. Although in this case, I don't actually have parameters. I've just got a couple of variables that I haven't done anything with. Let's take a look at running this. And again, we're working with subroutines.py, which you can find in your working files directory, and I'm just going to run it by right-clicking on it in the left-hand pane, selecting Run. First of all, we've got 19, which is what I've got from adding 15 to 4. And as I said, we've got X is not defined, and of course Y is not defined. Now, what I could do is I could actually fix this by doing this. So now I've got named parameters right here. I've created X and Y. I'm now passing those parameters in, and I'm going to get the result Z, and I'm going to print that out. And let's just run that again. So if I right-click here, and I do run subroutine, now I've got my results 19 and 11, and we just fixed the errors by simply adding parameters to the subroutines that I've got. So again, subroutines is where you would want to collect statements together for the purpose primarily of running those statements multiple times. So you've got a collection of related statements doing a particular task, and you want to repeat that task over and over. The other nice thing about it is it actually makes the program more readable. When you see add here, you know immediately that I'm adding things. If you see sub, you can probably guess that I'm subtracting. So subroutines or methods or functions can actually make the program more readable than just the series of statements that otherwise would be there.